Okay, the big question now is in a surplus market, buying surplus guns, is the hobby dead? Is it kind of out of control? Recently, I've been to a couple gun shows and I really haven't seen any number one surplus guns out there. If there was, there were very few and they were insanely priced. A lot of people brought up the thing that people new to the hobby or younger people are finding it very difficult to deal with this. And Mike B did numerous videos, and I seen his that he did the other day. And I watched it, and everything he says in there is pretty true. He talks about how it used to be and how it changed, and he gives you a timeline and the reasons, both political reasons, economic reasons, and social reasons. See, there's a lot of reasons too. It is an extremely difficult topic to discuss because there's many reasons why people buy these older used guns. Okay, one, surplus guns is because it's inexpensive. Two, because people like to collect them for the historic value, be it a certain country or military own these and they like them. Also, you find certain designs and types of guns. There are people that are not interested in collecting or whatever, but find the price reasonable and the weapon fits into what their needs are. Okay? So, you have different reasons why people buy these things. Okay? Those are basically the three main ones. And also, I can't forget the fourth one, like he mentioned. There are people that will buy these knowing that the supply will eventually run out and eventually they will be worth more money, so you can resell this 10 years down the road and make a profit. So there's all kinds of different reasons. And there's all kinds of unscrupulous people involved in this whole thing. So what I'm going to do is, and the one thing he did mention, and this is what I'm going to do in the video, is he used the term surplus and then he used they turn into collectibles. And this is the one point that he made. So I'm going to discuss just this one little thing. I'll make different videos talking about grading and values and that, but let's look at it. My idea came to me. How does a gun go from surplus to becoming a collectible? Okay, and I have several examples, and we're going to just do handguns today. Several examples of handguns here that recently, you'll recognize, and they're pretty popular. And how, by going by the asking price, and the fact that there is a certain number of these guns that were manufactured, they are no longer manufactured. They come out of storage, or governments don't want them anymore. They kept them in storage as a reserve. Now they've changed over 2 or 3 different models of, say, handguns or rifles. And now they have reserves of these newer models, and older models that are 50, 60 years old are no longer needed and sold off. But they've probably been out of production for, say, 20 years. So out they go. So that's where they end up to us on the surplus market. And generally surplus is when you have a ton of them come in, a whole large batch, thousands of them, okay? And that's where they come out. They'll be priced accordingly, sold, and then gradually as the supply is deleted, then, because of demand, people see them, people see videos, or people see them on TV or something, or whatever, and then now, or decide to collect them. Now there's a demand, now the price comes up. So going on that venue, we're going to look at some guns I got here, and I'm going to discuss how this process works, just as something that come up off the top of my head today. All right. Alright, first gun we're going to start with is a Star BM in its box here. This has been a recent surplus gun, more police surplus than military. But this is a popular one in the Star line that recently came in a few years ago, and a lot of them hit the market. Okay. And like on this example, if you see, there are usually these two little markings here. That's where they took an end mill and cut the police department's symbol off. Now, this is a nice gun. Like I said, not so much military surplus, but law enforcement surplus. These came on the market, they were slightly under $300. Okay, two something when they started. I bought this one, and instead of taking my chances and getting one mail order, I found a dealer at a gun show that had like 5 of these, and I went and picked the nicest one out of the bunch, because most of them had wear, scuff marks and everything, and I bought this one, and I paid a little more for it. I paid over $300. I think I paid $50 more than what I can get it online with the box and all. Now this gun, I was looking up, and I used a gun broker, which is not actually a good indicator, but I went and looked up what they were asking for these on the gun broker. And you have to beware, because I was trying to bid on another Star pistol. It's either a Starfire or something, and it starts off like $250, and you put a bid on it, and you find in the last hour somebody with either no rating or a single digit number starts driving the price up to $300-400. These range anywhere from about $350 on an open bidding thing to where you have some like wholesalers and that, but about $410. There was a bunch of them $410, $450, all the way up to $500. So this is kind of shifting out, and there were a lot of them there. Okay, a lot of them. So this is kind of transitioning from surplus. Obviously, the supply is drying up, so now they're asking more money for them. This is kind of a transitional gun. Now, we'll look at another Star. This Star Super. This one was made in the 50s, and this is the larger size gun in 9mm Largo. This was what the Spanish military used for years. This one does not have any military markings on it. Usually they'd have a symbol or something on there, which adds to the value. This one here, the Bs, I've seen go anywhere from 400, and there's only a few of them. So this is probably in collectible thing. You don't see the Bs, the older Bs anymore. They did come in. Some had Air Force markings on them. This one here is in a little rough. I think I picked this up for just around $3 after everything's said and done. This is before you got charged sales tax too. And I had to do some repair, tune this gun up. I kind of overpaid for it, it's what I thought, but it's a good shooting gun, and it fills a spot in my collection. The Bs were running anywhere from 400, and I seen one with a holster and extra magazines they were asking $800 for it. Okay, and nobody is importing the Supers. I'm sorry, the Supers, I call it a B. The Supers are not being brought in. So the 9mm Largo ones, it's just whoever has one from sale and what they're going to ask. So this is kind of in the realm. I doubt very much you'll see shipments of these come in. If you do, they will be small, and whoever gets them, well, they're going to name their own price. But $800 is insane for what this gun is. Now I got the Super B. And the difference between the Super and the Super B is this one is a 9mm, standard 9mm. So these came in pretty recently, and I picked this one up. Again, I went to a dealer, had a bunch of them, There were some online that were less, but I ended up paying close to $4 for this gun, but it's in exceptional condition, okay? And then the thing is, if you wanted magazines, an extra magazine, the guy was charging like $60 for, but more on that when I get into the stars. These are a nice gun, and I'm talking maybe 4 or 5 years ago, but they also have dried up. And when I looked at the Super B models, again, they go anywhere, most of them are 450, 500, if not higher, in the 6, almost 7, okay? And again, if you want one, they're not being actively imported. So they're not coming in as surplus guns. Now you're getting, see where I said collectible? So now it's like anything goes, all right, with these guns. And we'll go on to the next one. All right, this is a Bulgarian Makarov. Now, these were pretty hard to find in the U.S. till after the fall of communism, then they all started coming in. The most common ones were the Bulgarian ones like this, and they were about $200, a little under $180 years ago, and you could buy them. They're brand new, they're in beautiful condition like this gun, and they were all over, and the price didn't jump up on them. You know, people bought them. You had the East German ones, which people say are better made and have a premium. The Chinese brought in these guns. There's all kinds of variations, but when it started petering off, I bought the Bulgarian ones because they were quite common and around. Okay, you can get Russian ones. The Russians brought in different types that were commercial guns. I really don't know if any of the Russian military issue guns ever arrived, but these were quite popular. And I even got an East German holster. You used to buy these if you bought like 5 of them or something. You got them for like $5 a piece, $25, $30 to give you 5 holsters. One would be brand new, some would be used, and one of them would be all beat to crap. But those are nice. What these things go for now, I have no idea. I don't know if I got a maker or anything on that, other than that little tag on there. I've seen an individual, and that's another thing, the way people buy them. People like to just order them quickly and conveniently. And the people that offer this, somebody recently brought 300 of these in and had them available, Bulgarians. And I guess they gave them 2 grips. The price was well over $500. And I believe he sold all of them pretty swiftly. So if they make these and bring them in, I do know they did bring some commercial models of this in, but the Bulgarian ones are the only ones you'll see pop up anymore. You will not see them import the East German ones. The Chinese ones are not allowed to be imported, and I don't think the Russians are bringing in commercial versions or any versions at all. So again, another gun. 500 plus for these, okay? Speaking of our Makarovs and that, we'll look at the Polish P64. Another interesting surplus gun. Get this over here. Now these came in and were quite reasonable and popular. Makes a nice carry gun. Interesting weapon. The 64s used to go for about, you could get them under 200 at one time, okay, but say about 200 bucks. And now looking them up, they go 325, 400 is the going right now, or what the asking price is on them, which these have jumped up. They were quite common. They were around for a while. And the thing about these is in 2006, when I was in Poland, they were still being used by a lot of police agencies were carrying these guns, okay, because I could tell by the holster. And the way that country was very sporadic. I know that the police, They were making them get rid of the 9mm Makarov and go with the 9mm Luger as the standard, and they were buying Walter pistols, is what like the Warsaw Police would carry in any major city there. A lot of your customs and other types of places still had these guns in service. I don't know if they're bringing them in anymore, but price getting up to $400, you know, a little strange. Okay, and while we're on the Polish pistols, we have the P83, which was standard issue for the military. This is what their soldiers carried. I don't know if the police carried these or not, but can't say for sure. But the 83s came in. I think I bought this one at Gander Mountain, and what it was, they had a bunch of men there, and they were getting like 3 1/4 or 3 1/2 for them or something, and it was kind of high. I thought it was a high price, but I could see the gun, and the weird thing was I picked one of the guns out, and then it's like I wanted one with a holster. The guy goes, some of them come with a holster. They had this beat up holster in there and a spare mag. So I said, yeah, let me have one with a holster. So he goes, the holster's in this box. I have to give you the gun where the serial number matches this box. So I had to change my choice, but I ended up with this pistol. And they're an interesting gun. They're nice. I paid a little more for it because I just wanted one. And now I don't believe they're coming in. They're not imported anymore. And a search on the gun broker showed 3, where the P64s you could find about 8 or 9 of them. And these things had starting bids on them from $650 to $700. There were 2 of them. One was $650, one was $700 with the holster there. So that is where this gun has gone from surplus, that is a prime example, to collectible. I don't know if you can find these in the secondary market or used. I have not seen one of these for sale at a gun show anywhere. And, you know, like I said, the gun broker may not be the best place to go, but it's most common. And how I'm using it is, I only found 2 examples of this, 5 of the P64, but for like the BM, I found at least 20 gun auctions, 20, 30 of them, and the prices vary. So that's how I'm using it as a gauge of the availability of the weapons. That's how I'm using a gun broker, you know, to hell with the price. But obviously these are not that available, and the ridiculous price kind of goes with it. Now another gun that came out years ago, surplus, and it's done. They brought them all in. They were coming in for years, and the Czech CZ52 pistol. Okay, this one came with the holster, the extra clip, and everything. And I believe at one time, and this is going back, you could buy these for like $90. It was under $100. I think I bought this one when they had a price increase, and I think the price was like $120 or $25. Okay, is what they wanted for these guns. And they're an interesting pistol, part of military history. Good shape. The bore's a little rugged on it because of the corrosive ammo, but it shoots well, and I've liked it. And like I said, I didn't have a lot of money in it. Now, on a gun broker search, you see some for $240, but they're bidding, and it's $400 to $500, and there's no bids. And you know, like I said, you got to watch it because they'll go and start at a penny auction and run these things up to $400. I've seen these in like these small auctions, gun auctions. I look at a lot of them, and I've seen these guns going for $400 or $500. You know, maybe at a gun show I've seen a couple of them. People wanted like $350, $400 for them. Are they worth it? I mean, you know, you used to buy them for $100 and something. But I don't know. See, this You're probably not going to see these being brought in anymore in quantity. So now, you can put these in the collector's item thing, and that means that the price is only going to go up, depending on how bad you want them. Now we're going to get into some really obscure stuff. We have here a Japanese pistol. Now, this came up on a gun broker auction a long time ago. And I believe what it was is the individual, it must be from an estate, because there's like 4 or 5 pistols this one person had posted at one time, just out of the blue. So he must have got it into his shop and was selling them on commission. And out of the 4 of them, this is the one I got. The holster's a little beat up and that. But I got the pistol, and it's not in terrible shape. Like I said, this one was not the best. You got some bluing blemishes, but it's together. It's in one piece. It's not in real terrible condition, and the bore is good. Okay. Matter of fact, I should see if hold on a minute. Yeah, I just wanted to look. I thought the extractor was broken, but no, it's in good shape. So I bought this one years ago, and it was just like I seen it. The guy had a few of them. I bought the one that was in, not probably the best. That's why I got it with the holster. And I got that one. This one here, I picked it up. I think I paid something like all together when everything was said and done with fees and all that other stuff. I paid like, let me see this thing. I paid like $600 for it. Okay, with the holster, which it is an original holster, a little on the beat up side, but interesting gun. I got this because I wanted to load ammo and be able to have ammunition available when I was going to the gun shows, which it isn't cheap, but more on that if I ever work on this pistol here. Now, when you find these, nobody's bringing these in. This is a type of gun that you would have to find, okay, in an auction or something. Alright, I got the action clues. This is something you will have to find at auction or somebody selling this. And I remember a time Japanese pistols didn't sell that good. There was a factor of the ammo, and even now making the ammo, it's quite expensive. People have tried to buy ammunition and shoot these and not successful. I have not attempted to work on this. This is a gun that's, something in the waiting. Maybe this year I'll get to it. I have brass, I have bullets. I may give it a try and get it out. But honestly, these things, this model or the other model, whenever they come up in a gun auction, not the gun broker, just auction houses, these things go for over $1,000. Okay, it's insane. I don't know why. It's kind of just like I was on a Rock Island auction, and they like to put numerous guns in a group. So they went and put a bunch of just Japanese Type 99 rifles, like 4 or 5 of them. Nothing special, nothing unique. But those guns, with the bids that were coming in, were going for $600 a piece. And all of these Japanese pistols I've seen, these things go for over $1,000 in auctions. Okay, how true that is or whatever, but to me it's insane. Yes, no one's going to import these. You have to go find these. Whenever these came in years ago or whatever, you're not going to find a stash of Japanese weapons lying around anywhere. So this is crazy. Okay, but that just goes to show you how this all works out. I was interested in getting other pistols, but I'm not going to pay $1,000 for examples of these guns, because Actually, they're not really, the Japanese weapons are not the best made on the face of the earth, okay? And putting that aside, I'm going to do a little obscura here. Now what this is a Dutch police revolver. And it had some kind of weird safety mechanism that locked into the cylinder. And some jackass took that out of there. This gun's in exceptional shape. It's a nice gun. I didn't really get into it a lot, not knowing it's incomplete in a way. But it's in decent shape, and it's that strange caliber they had. I got it more or less for an ammunition challenge to make ammo for it, which will be custom made stuff. And you can get dies for this caliber. This here, like I said, I paid about $3 for it. And these things here are kind of like, they're not easily recognizable. People don't know it, but a lot of auctions I'll find these odd old revolvers, either police, either Swedish or the old Swiss pistols or something. And these things, these obscure odd revolvers go for some ungodly amount of money. $700, $800 people are paying. And I kind of believe the auctions, I don't know. See, it's hard to say if the auctions are legit. Because these same auctions where I see these guns go for this exorbitant amount of money, I've seen like some black powder guns and stuff that, buying the replica of the Sharps paper cartridge guns from Dixie Gun Works. The Italian copies are up there $1,500, $1,700. And when I see a used example of a different company going for $1,200, $1,300, I kind of find it hard to believe. I was tempted to get one, an IBA, for like $800. If I can get it for $700, $800, and it looks decent without no rust or being abused from the photographs, I'd pick it up. But I wouldn't go all the way to $1,200 for a used gun. Okay, so that brings me into question in a lot of these auctions. Most people don't know what the hell this is, but for some magical reason in that auction, these guns will go quite high. Now that's a question there. So let me conclude this video. Okay, so as we know, the price of firearms have gone up and they're not going to come down. But my question is, like I said, using auctions and that as a guideline, are they a realistic value, or are there, I don't know. I can't say 100% for sure, but if that is the going rate on things, then my collection is quite valuable. But I'm not looking to sell it. I didn't buy these guns with profit in mind. Like I said, some people, all they think about is the only reason they would buy this gun is if they know that they sell for $1,000, and if they could get it for $6 or $7 to make a profit, they'd buy it. Okay, that's not why I bought this pistol. All right. Like Mike said, I don't see prices coming down because these guns are all quite common, and like the CZ isn't too terrible. I've seen them go. People ask $400 or $500 for them, and it's just like these Stars. They're nice guns, okay, but $500. Well, it's about what I almost paid, so I guess they do go up in value. $500, $600 they're asking. And like the BM, that's a recent surplus import, but now it's starting to ratchet up into $400 from $280, or something like that was the going price in the box, halfway decent. And people one individual had one that was nice like mine, maybe a little bit better, about the same. He wants $500 for it. Okay, because yeah, a lot of them were scuffed up. The bluing was scratched or worn, and that it was hard to find the nicer looking ones. But I don't know if it warrants that. So that's my take on it, and a little display of my oddities in my gun collection. I'll do another one on rifles, talk about the Carcano and a lot of these guns that years ago I bought. And my question is, where do they all end up going? You know, like the Moes and the Gants. Alright, so I hope you guys enjoyed it. That's my way of explaining it, give you some ideas on guns and how rare they are. And it all comes in when you're looking at it. You know, availability, condition, and sometimes it's popularity. Like I said, this little Dutch pistol, most people don't know what it is, and getting ammunition for it isn't going to happen. So it will affect desirability and value. But that's just how I guess you can look at it, to where surplus guns and things that were in here, you know, at one time there's probably a pile of these Japanese guns lying around back in the 50s that just were languishing. Nobody really wanted them, they weren't popular. Now, because World War II and all this other stuff, something like this is desirable and people do collect it. I know people that will collect it. It's just the prices that they're paying for it, kind of, you know, odd. Alright, well stay tuned and I'll make some other videos along these lines or something, you know. If you want something more specific, go ahead and put something in the comments section, and stay tuned.